YouTube will always change. Whether it gets better or worse, I guess just depends. I think it's in a pretty good spot right now. I don't mind it. When Morgs was around, people were saying it was the worst time in YouTube. People are always going to say it's the worst time in YouTube. I think it's actually in a pretty good spot. I think demonetization is like less and less. You can say things on YouTube that you could not previously say. Even like 5 years ago, I think the culture has changed around like cancellation and stuff, which affects YouTube in a cultural sense, not like a direct sense. I like it. When YouTubers try to warn their audience.
From Markiplier warning his audience about the massive honey scam 6 years ahead of time.
There's some shady shit going on. I can't put my finger upon it.
To Jacksepticeye's brutally honest warning.
Do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes.
Here
Is that a brutally honest warning or just like an opinion? Do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yeah, I think that the website has gone down in quality because people are trying to replicate his style because he's so popular, which has led to the death of individuality. But that's just my opinion. What's the warning there? It would have been a lot better for an example of a warning if Jacksepticeye said, in July of 2024, Ava Chris Tyson will be caught with some devious acts and it will look very bad, and I'm not gonna say it.
Brutally honest warning.
Do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes.
Here are 8 times YouTubers tried to warn their audience, starting with Markiplier, who spent a few minutes during a 2019 stream to vent about a product that every YouTuber except him was promoting.
I don't know why, but I naturally distrust Honey.
With Honey being a free browser extension promising to help people save money, Markiplier went on to explain his doubts about it.
My gut tells me that nothing in life is free.
Unless you're the product.
So where's all these savings coming from? They push so much advertising on YouTube. They do brand deals with other YouTubers.
Despite admitting that Honey might turn out to be fine, Mark couldn't bring himself to trust it.
I got no problem with like the concept of an app that like clips coupon codes for you. That's great. That sounds great on its surface. But there's some shady shit going on. People are getting money out of it, and then people are saving money out of it, and that makes sense.
Yeah, even if you're not like a genius, you do have to understand that for a service to operate on giving people free stuff, they do have to be getting money somehow, unless they're gonna go under. And they didn't go under. They survived from like 2018 to like last year, which is a long time. And then I think they got bought out by PayPal. So we did figure out what happened. They were robbing YouTubers. They were taking their affiliate money, etc. But I gotta say, Mark, what a crazy prediction. He was really on the money with this one. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's been in the game for a long time, and I trust this guy's opinion.
But the other part doesn't make sense, and then something's going on here. Where's all this money coming from?
Capping it off with a bold prediction.
I have a feeling there's gonna, in like a couple years, there's gonna be the great Honey conspiracy of like 2022.
This would become eerily accurate in 2025, with tech reviewer Megalag being the first YouTuber to expose the ugly truth.
17 million views. It was crazy how he uncovered what happened with Honey. So basically, in case you don't know, Honey was like one of the biggest sponsors on YouTube for the longest time. And what ended up happening was that YouTubers were getting paid to promote Honey. But what was happening was that there were certain websites where Honey was taking the money that you get from having an affiliate code. So if I told you go to whatever.com/Acheeto and use this code, Honey would replace my code secretly with their code and take the money that I would have gotten for that sale.
Honey is a scam, and the majority of claims promoted by those influencers aren't even remotely true.
The scam affected both the user and the content creator. The user would always get the worst possible discounts, while the creators would lose affiliate revenue to Honey. Once Megalag spoke out, other YouTubers stepped forward too, including tech reviewer Marcus Brownlee, who would also explain the scam and credit Mark for getting it right all along.
And this is not a small amount of money. When you're talking about affiliates on the huge YouTuber side of things, especially like Linus Tech Tips, a person who's going to be getting affiliates on really high ticket items, if you sell 100 PCs and your cut is 10% of every PC, and every PC is, let's say, $3,000, that's $300 a sale. And if you sell 100 of them, I think 100 times 300 is like 30,000. Yeah, it's $30,000. So just losing $30,000 is a big deal. It's a lot of money.
There's a hilarious clip of Markiplier from like 4 years ago being very suspicious of them.
Mark admitted that while he knew something was wrong, the extent of the scam still shocked him.
I just knew that it didn't feel right. I never took a Honey deal because I didn't trust it. And holy shit,
Crazy
it was so
gut.
much worse
Crazy gut.
than I ever could have imagined.
For as goofy as he is intelligent. Oh, I mean, look, he's one of the top YouTubers for a reason. I mean, forget the silliness. He's been on, like, the top for a long-ass time, and there's a reason for that.
Markiplier has every reason to feel smug about his prediction, much like PewDiePie, who was the first YouTuber to warn about the dark side of Ryan's world.
It's kind of like seeing child stars on television, because you know, like, their parents are literally forcing them to do it, and it's just something sad about it.
He would make this comment on January 3rd, 2017, when he sat down to react to an article making a bold claim.
What is this? 5-year-old threatens to dethrone YouTube King PewDiePie over my death.
Yeah, Ryan's World, yeah. When you look at the family who's exploiting their kid for content and using him as an indentured servant / slave for money to enrich themselves and to get a bigger house and take longer vacations, you might see something wrong there. You might see some things that raise an eyebrow.
Goddamn dead body!
Pewds would go on to review this up-and-coming channel, only to be left thoroughly unimpressed. But it wasn't just the content that left a bad taste in his mouth.
Who will you hatch?
See, she doesn't even let him finish. He was clearly about to say something there.
Besides the pattern of parental manipulation, Pewds noticed another odd...
Well, because there's a problem, is that your kid by default is not made to appease the YouTube algorithm. So when you have to make your kid behave in a way that grabs people's attention at all times and is coherent for watch retention, then you're basically going to have to make your kid become fucking inept and program him in a way that is not natural, and no kid should be programmed.
thing about Ryan's channel.
Have you ever seen a video with 11 million views and 9,000 likes? Please direct me to that video, because it doesn't exist. These are not real people. These are not real views.
PewDiePie would end his rant with a funny skit that would end up being scarily close to the reality of most child YouTubers.
Can you do it again, baby? But can you do it with more energy?
More energy?
Yeah, hey, here's a Red Bull,
Yeah.
okay? Mommy needs some dollars, so you need to look happy.
Yes.
8 years later, Ryan's channel has come under intense scrutiny for parental exploitation and shady business practices, ultimately proving Pewds right. But while PewDiePie didn't personally know Ryan, controversial YouTuber Vicki would give a chilling warning
Vicki.
about someone she knew very well.
Lil Tay?
Vicki, real name Victoria Rose, first rose to fame in 2017 after using racial slurs and claiming to be black.
I took the test.
That's a rise. She rose to fame for using racial slurs. That's awesome. That is one of the coolest ways to make a living.
Fame in 2017.
Professional racist. Imagine that. It's your nameplate, and then underneath has your job title, professional racist.
After using racial slurs and
That's how she rose to fame.
And claiming to
My
be
dream
black.
I
wife?
took the
Okay.
test, and they said I'm black.
Let me tell you something. She's not using it to be racist. She was using it to display that she was black. So in a weird way, it was the opposite. It was her. She was so endearing of black people that she decided to become black. She was transracial.
That means I have the right to tell y'all that I'm black.
But it became pretty clear that Vicki
I don't think she's black.
was just building a persona to chase clout, much like
Right.
fellow flexer Lil Tay.
I
Fellow
dropped
flexer.
200 racks on this car, and I'm only 9 years old.
You ever see her on Twitter now acting like she knows how politics work? What is up with this? I go on Twitter and I see her fucking talking about the Ukraine war or like Israel and Palestine. I'm so confused. How does she know what's going on? Is she just like actually following this stuff minute to minute? I'm sick of this bitch talking like she knows anything and that her only fame and notoriety isn't from talking like this, talking like a spoiled brat who was raised with maybe a little too much exposure to rap music. It's crazy.
Vicki and Tay's paths would cross due to Vicki's feud with another controversial teen, Bad Baby, aka the
Did you guys also know, not to hang on to the Lil Tay thing for too long, but she actually called me out on Twitter, I think a year ago. So I went to Turkey Tom's house like a year ago, and we did a bunch of videos, and one of the videos we did was reacting to Lil Tay. And after we did that, she had made a tweet that's gone now. I don't know if anyone has it. Maybe Tom has it. I'll have to ask him. But she said something along the lines of like 2 loser-ass grown men hating on me or some shit. It was like minutes after we posted our video. It was weird. It was definitely 100% about us because it was like 2, and it was I think she left a comment on the video and then deleted it as well. So
would cross due to Vicki's feud with another controversial teen, Bad Baby, aka the Cash Me Outside girl.
Me and my blood sister. You feel what I'm saying? These broke ass bitches.
Bad baby.
And it's like, look at her. Like, the video was literally about how she was getting mistreated and thrown through, like, the Hollywood abuse cycle, where it's just like, you know, people get famous at a really young age and then they get exploited or mistreated or something for content because, like, you know, they're bringing in the views, and it's like a vicious cycle. And the video was literally just about how that's bad and how she's, like, continually exploited, and how her father, who was trying to, like, keep her safe, was taken away from her. Yeah, it's just like...
But on June 29th, 2018, Vicki would make a surprisingly serious video after she discovered the concerning truth about her friend.
Lil Tay is a little girl, a 10-year-old girl who came from Canada, who plays ballet. You know what I'm saying? She don't know nothing about no rappers. She don't know nothing about flexing. It's her brother that runs her account.
Going on to explain why this was so bothersome.
She's really a good person. Like, it's just her brother in her ear telling her what to do. He started yelling at her and was like, why'd you do that? You did it wrong, da-da-da-da-da. And then she started crying because, like, she's 10 years old. She doesn't know how to handle all that.
Fans were quick to appreciate Vicki's rare moment of maturity. Her warning highlighted the exploitation in Tay's life, leading to more people exposing the truth about Tay's family and eventually allowing Lil Tay to live her own happy life. By exposing Tay's brother, Vicki's video became her most popular one to date, much like YouTuber Polydactyl, who exposed primitive technology channels in his most viewed video ever.
Just like Santa Claus and the Queen of England, primitive technology channels are a lie.
Backing his claim by pointing out inconsistencies with primitive tech videos.
This dude is using a stick to carve out this giant hole, which leaves very small marks in the dirt. And if you look above, you see these really big, wide marks. Something that a shovel would make.
He then points out the evident excavator tread marks in the video.
All these videos, I get why they got so many views, because it's people living in, like, the natural environment, like old-time survival content. It's cool, but there's 100% no way people actually thought that you were building a fucking hut out of, like, a stick and leaves.
Something that a shovel would make.
He then points out the evident excavator tread marks in the video, further proving the use of machinery behind the scenes. But that wasn't all, as the inconsistencies with nature kept adding up.
What's this? He's splitting bamboo with a hatchet? Hatchets do not pop up in nature, alright? Have you ever seen a field of hatchets? Me neither.
Putting the final nail in the coffin by highlighting the scheme behind these channels.
Either like the village or some company came in, they hired a team, and just every once in a while, they said, hey, stop working, we're gonna have this dude come out and hit it with a stick a couple times.
Since then, many YouTubers have exposed the truth about primitive technology channels in recent years, prompting people to appreciate Poly. Now, while
22 million views? Jesus.
Dactyl can gloat about being right.
I mean, look at that shit. That's nuts. 22 million.
In recent years, prompting people to appreciate Poly. Now, while Polydactyl can gloat about being right, the Sidemen can pat themselves on the back after warning their fans of a scam. In 2025, the Sidemen charity football match was taking place in Wembley, featuring popular YouTubers like Kai Cenat and Logan Paul, causing the tickets to be in hot demand. But in the months leading up to their event, the group became aware of a disturbing activity. Bots and fake accounts are claiming to sell charity match tickets. These are most likely scams. People were grateful for the timely announcement. Surprisingly, this wasn't the first time the Sidemen had to deal with ticket trouble around their annual event, with the 2024 edition affected as well.
We check on eBay, people are reselling.
I really dislike the fact that people have thought, there's a charity event, let me go and buy a ticket so I can sell it.
Yeah.
To make 10 times the price of the ticket for my...
I mean, but the reality is, you're gonna get that with any event. Like, this is not a Sidemen. I would agree, like, yeah, scalpers fucking suck, but it's like, you know, it just happens. And we said the big forehead has me distracted. It is large, yeah. It's
buy
large,
a ticket so I can sell it.
He's a charitable guy. His forehead's long. It's a large forehead, but it you know, belongs to a charitable guy. So.
To make 10 times the price of the ticket for myself.
Among the many stars who took to the field in 2025 was MrBeast, who had been the subject of a warning by YouTuber Jacksepticeye.
Do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes.
Before getting this question,
well, again, that's just not
during a lie detector test, Jack would be asked by Tommy Innit about his thoughts on YouTube.
Would you say YouTube's changed for the worse? Yes.
Leading to a follow-up question that revealed a shocking confession.
I think YouTube has changed in the way that, you know, content that takes less effort and is therefore more authentic is devalued in the algorithm. But then at the same time, you see that, like, Asmongold, he just posts, like, stream clips, and that's kind of what I'm doing. They get a bunch of views. So it's like, you know, YouTube will always change. Whether it gets better or worse, I guess just depends. I think it's in a pretty good spot right now. I don't mind it. I do think that there's a big problem with the ads on YouTube being way too sexual, and, you know, I have have premium, so I don't really, you know, see the problem. I've kind of avoided it, but you know, overall, I can't complain. Like, I love YouTube. I always have, I think it's the best website I ever created. You know, what's better, honestly? It's fucking awesome. Do you guys remember Morgs? Like, when Morgs was around, people were saying it was the worst time in YouTube. And then MrBeast comes around, people are saying people are always going to say it's the worst time in YouTube. I think it's actually in a pretty good spot. I think demonetization is, like, less and less. I think, like, you can say things on YouTube that you could not previously say. Even, like, 5 years ago, I think the culture has changed around, like, cancellation and stuff, which affects YouTube in a cultural sense, not, like, a direct sense. I like it. I like it a lot.
From Jack.
Do you like MrBeast?
I've gotten condom ads on your vids. That just means you were a mistake. YouTube's like, I can't believe someone's watching this shit. We gotta make sure that guy doesn't reproduce.
No. Jack.
That's crazy.
Do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes.
When asked about his reasoning, Jack didn't hold back.
Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
The clip went viral, prompting MrBeast to hit back with a response on X. Most of the
I mean, like, at the same time, I get what he's saying, but I think MrBeast is just, like, not his fault. YouTube was about getting views and money before MrBeast started doing things that got the most views and money.
internet sympathized with Mr.
Honestly, like, you look at all the people who were saying, join my free gift card giveaway, like Derv and Morgs and, like, these, like, top 10 fucking channels, and it's all kind of gone. And I think content's kind of better now.
Beast, with some even questioning Jack's motives. But while Jack didn't respond, his words would loom large a few months later as MrBeast faced one controversy after another. From YouTube medical expert Dr. Mike criticizing Lunchly.
I usually don't make videos
it was bad.
Discussing creators' products, but when terms like healthier or better for you get tossed around, I feel it's important to set the record straight.
To allegations around the dangerous conditions in the Beast games.
Over a dozen people who participated in the first installment of Beast games said that they had not received adequate food or medical care, and that some competitors had suffered injuries from the physical challenges.
The internet has started digging into the problems with Jimmy's content, giving even more weight to Jack's warning. However, Jacksepticeye isn't.
It's literally not even about, like, and that's it. That's the whole thing. It's not even a warning. This is just put in for the chapter of the video, but, like, him saying that he made YouTube about views and money has nothing to do with the allegations against him. Like, that's just such a no. This is one of the. This is terrible. This is not a warning. Okay.
The only one to have been wary of MrBeast, with British content creator Chris.
He was not wary of him. He just criticized his content.
Broad also taking digs at the world's biggest.
Dude, that's like saying I personally don't watch PewDiePie, and then PewDiePie gets outed as, like, a school shooter, and then he's like, bro, Acheeto warned you about PewDiePie. No, I didn't. I just said I don't like his content.
YouTuber for his association with Logan Paul.
It's very strange. Like, how could MrBeast, a guy who is famed for being a genius, who mastered the algorithm, how could he not calculate that partnering with such a man would be anything other than a shit idea?
Logan Paul wouldn't be spared a warning either.
And in the years since, the headlines surrounding this guy have continued to spell bad news. There's not been much in the way of a redemption arc.
Bringing it.
I mean, yeah, he sucks.
Have continued to spell
He's
bad
terrible.
news. There's not been much in the way of a redemption arc.
Bringing it.
I saw 3 kids huddled around a fridge that had Prime in it like 3 years ago, and I think at that very moment, I knew when we were ever going to get into a war, the next war we get into, it's going to be fought with robots. These kids are not ever going to fucking see combat.
Full circle.
Not that it's a good thing that they would, but they're drinking Prime.
With Hatua Girl.
What makes it crazy is how she condensed the 5-year lifespan of a modern influencer into just like 2 or 3 months. Step 1, have a viral moment. Step 2, have a podcast. Step 3, unleash a cryptocurrency, which quickly goes wrong.
Chris doubled down on his warning, explaining why it was important to heed it for future generations.
And if the people at the top of this platform with unimaginable reach don't have a good moral compass to guide them, then we all lose for it, particularly the next generation growing up watching this, especially if they're raised on a diet of Lunchly. My message this Christmas is simple. Choose very carefully who you watch on YouTube.
Along with his video gaining almost 2 million views, Chris would also be praised by fans. While Chris's warning is being taken seriously by the internet, the same can't be said for American YouTuber TJ Kirk, aka The Amazing Atheist, whose warning about a Finnish gunman went unheard. On June 8, 2007, TJ filmed a rant on the infamous Columbine school shooters Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold and the people who admire them.
I want to talk about these kids, and not just kids, there's adults too, who seem to extol Eric and Dylan here on YouTube. I'll link to all of their profiles once again.
TJ would end his rant with a chilling warning about the
about?
exact people who should be investigated.
We're always talking about warning signs, and could we have seen it coming? Well, you know what? If you want to look for warning signs, there they are. Those are your warning signs.
One of the profiles on TJ's list was Natural Selector 89, real name Pekka Erik Avinen, a Finnish teenager who would go on to unalive 7 students and his principal at a high school 5 months after TJ's warning. In the aftermath of the tragedy, TJ would express his disappointment at his warning falling on deaf ears.
You could probably tell that I'm not happy about my vindication, because it was something that I warned you would happen, something that I told you to be mindful of. And you didn't. You weren't mindful of it. You criticized me for it.
However, his accurate prediction...
Well, I think that this is one of the things where you can't just say, hey, I think these people will do school shootings because, like, you know, that's my theory. And then you can't just expect people to drop everything and investigate random people that you've just said on YouTube. I mean, I don't know the whole story. Maybe these people were displaying crazy warning signs, but again, like, I don't know if you're going to be taking super seriously as just a guy talking about these things.
Would push him into a brighter
You're not doing investigations like the cops can do.
spotlight, with the internet crediting him for being ahead of his time. I haven't seen this video in over 10 years, but the algorithm treated me well today. In a way, it's prophetic of the time we live in now, where mass shootings are part of the regular news cycle, making TJ's warning one of the most relevant ones of our time.
Wow, interesting. Well, good video. That sucks that happened. I don't know about the story with mass shooters, but not a fan generally of those types of people. Can't say I'm all too fond of them. Good video though.